Hello Davison, Superintendent Kevin Brown here, coming to you with what will be my final edition of Brown's blog. I thought it would be a good idea before my retirement and as we wind down the 2023 school year to talk a little bit about some of the bond projects that are ongoing, as well as point out all the wonderful things that we've been able to do as a result of the generosity and support of the Davison community. If you'll remember, back in 2020, in the spring of 2020, we passed a almost $72 million bond. And the reason for that bond was to take care of three main areas in the district: critical needs, safety, and also technology. And we've been working for the past 3 years, and it's really rather remarkable on what we've been able to accomplish. We started in 2020, in the summer of 2020, with asbestos abatement here at Davison High School. It's something that's needed to be done for a long time, and it's an ongoing project. We've been doing asbestos abatement now. I think we're on our third or fourth round of abatement. And along with the abatement, when we do our putback, we put in new ceiling tiles, new wiring, new electrical conduit, new lighting, and so forth. So it's really giving the entire building from the ceiling up a facelift, and it's taking care of a critical safety issue, which is the removal of asbestos. Even though the asbestos is all encapsulated and not a threat or a danger, it's still something we'd like to be able to get rid of. We also started in the summer of 2020 by putting new roofs on the high school gymnasium, Seipel Elementary School, and the alternative education building over here. These were also critical needs, as those roofs were failing or would soon fail. They were on their way out, they were in the decline, and they needed to be replaced. We did a lot of mechanical critical needs as well. We put in a new domestic hot water heater and a tank, and a new circulating pump here at Davison High School. For technology, we bought several Chromebooks and Chromebook carts in order to keep the technology in the hands of our kids, which is important. And we put, of course, a brand new turf field, a synthetic turf field in at Cardinal Stadium. That was a pretty big deal too. We also did new field events. We put in a new track, we put in a new pole vault area, new long jump, high jump. So we did a lot of work over there at Cardinal Stadium. As the school year started, we began the installation of more than 125 new security cameras throughout the district. Obviously, that was a safety thing. We also started the new stadium restroom addition, which has long since been completed, but was a real critical need at Cardinal Stadium. Something that I almost forgot that we even did was we relocated our bus lot. We moved the bus lot off of the high school campus over to a new building that we had purchased that we refer to as Cardinal Station now. We've got a beautiful new bus lot over there, and that really opened up the high school area behind the gymnasium and the southeast corner of the building, so that we could, southwest corner of the building rather, excuse me, so that we could begin the construction of our new auditorium, which we'll get to in a little bit. We put in all new fiber from the high school to Cardinal Station, which is a technology need. I already mentioned the new running track. In the summer of 21, we continued with our second round of asbestos abatement here at Davison High School. We also took care of a number of critical needs in the summer of 21. We put in new boilers at the high school, the alternative education building, Hahn Intermediate, the middle school, and also a new chiller for air conditioning here at the high school that would accommodate the new auditorium and the surrounding spaces once they were completed. We added 2 new classrooms at Thompson Elementary. We also put new bleachers in the high school gymnasium, and we ran new electricity and gas service to the high school, including a new stormwater system and new water piping as well. So you can see that we're taking care of a lot of critical needs, things that you don't really see, but we're still needed by the district, and we're getting those done. During the 21-22 school year, we put in a Hill sanitary sewer pump and a new lift station. We started work on the connector which you can now see behind me. This was a huge safety concern that we talked about, which now allows students to go from the high school to the alternative building and back and forth without having to leave the building. So that was a big deal. That's something that would have been a nice to have years and years ago, but it was expensive and we just couldn't afford to do it without the bond money. But obviously that's been completed now. We also began work on the new Performing Arts Center. I'm actually standing right now a little bit east of the new Performing Arts Center. It's being constructed here behind us. And although that's a little bit behind schedule, for a lot of reasons, we ran into supply chain issues, we ran into labor shortages, we ran into material shortages and things like that. It's coming along, and we're going to give you a little tour in just a little bit to show you the work that's taken place there. It really is amazing. We also began work on the surrounding spaces. New green room, new band room, new choir room, new DTV studio for Mr. Scott and his students to work in. During the summer of 2022, we again continued asbestos abatement and the restoration here at the high school. The connector was completed at that time, and we had ongoing work here at the new Performing Arts Center. We also, last summer, redesigned the drop-off and parent pickup loops at Hahn Intermediate, which was huge. That was a big critical need of the district and a safety concern because of the way traffic flowed throughout that area. We added a new bus loop at the middle school as well to help with traffic flow over there. In addition to those two new loops, we also resurfaced all the parking lots. We put in a new bus loop at Seipel. We extended their back parking lot for additional parking. We resurfaced the parking lot over at Thompson. We've put district-wide LED lighting, external LED lighting throughout the entire district at all the buildings except here at the high school because we still have more work to do. We did a Cardinal Stadium fiber project. We ran new fiber to Cardinal Stadium, which was a technology need, and we upgraded hardware for our Wi-Fi connections here at the high school as well. We fixed the middle school gymnasium roof issue. We had a little leaking going on there, and we had to do some beam insulation. This year, planned for this year, we have more abatement that's going to go on here at the high school. We're going to also do 17 new projectors. We're going to redo the technology in our English wing after that gets abated, in addition to putting in the new lights and all of that kind of stuff. And of course, back to the ongoing work here at the Performing Arts Center. So as you can see, your money, I believe, has been very well spent. It's enabled us to do a lot of things that we needed to do. One of the things I forgot to mention that we're doing this coming summer in 23 is we're actually building new security entry vestibules at Seipel and at Gates. The vestibule at Seipel we've started doing that because a lot of that work could be done outside of the building. So even before the school year ends, the outside portion of that has actually been constructed. And we'll show you some pictures of that, as you can see on your screen. And then we have new phone systems, new PA systems going in and throughout the district as well. So a lot of work that's been done thanks to all of you in the community that so generously passed that bond, which gave us the money that we needed to address all of these critical needs, as well as build this beautiful new auditorium, which I really hoped was going to be done and open before I retired later this month. But nonetheless, it's going to be wonderful when it gets done, and I think you're all going to be very proud of that. So with that, let's go on a little tour. Okay, we're going to start our tour right here. This is in the new west entrance to the high school. Now, most people know that we're building a brand new auditorium. You can see it being constructed right over this way to the south. But what a lot of people don't seem to know is that along with that new auditorium, we're reconstructing a lot of the spaces in and around our high school. So where we're standing right now actually used to be outside. This is all new space. This is going to be the new west entrance, and this is going to be the main entrance of the high school. We're no longer going to use the north entrance as the main entrance. Eventually, this west entrance will be the main entrance. You can see right over here right is going to be a security office. This is where the security officer that works at the welcome desk is going to be stationed. So he'll have visibility outside to the main student parking lot, inside, and this, you can see this here is going to be a secure vestibule area. Right here we're going to have an attendance office, nurses station, and things of that nature. And then the main doors going into the actual building are right here in front of us. This will take us into the west hallway, where the auditorium would be on your left, the gymnasium will be on your right. But all of this is brand new construction as we reconfigure the spaces in and around this entire high school building. So come on with me and we'll take a little walk. So as we move south from the main entrance, we come into what we are calling our Hall of Champions. This is where we'll keep trophy cases, the all-state athlete photos and all-state coaches and things like that. We're actually thinking about bringing back the Davison High School Hall of Fame to be put in here as well. You can see we have vision to the outside. Again, you're looking to the west. You see the soccer fields out there and the tennis courts. All of this is, of course, new construction. I'm wearing my hard hat because we are actually going into an active construction zone. So we're going to slip out through here. So you can see here the big double doors that would go into the gymnasium. This is where the athletic director's office was and will be again. That's going to stay. You can see Mr. Beamer still has his sign on his door. Through those double doors is the old weight room. That weight room is going to move, and this is the area that's going to be identified for the new DTV studio. There's going to have a big, beautiful DTV studio, give our kids in this program that's so good for the district a really top-notch facility to use. If we come along this way, there are a lot of hallways and corridors here that we're going to have to walk through, and there are a lot of different spaces. But again, I'm going to walk you, we'll come back here in just a minute. Let me walk you down here and show you. This is pretty cool down here. You can actually look into what will eventually be the new auditorium. Again, you can see the outside to the tennis courts. This area is the upper lobby of the auditorium. So the auditorium is going to be a two-story auditorium. Right below us will be the main lobby area. We are standing on the upper lobby, and the upper lobby would take you right into the balcony. And you can see the stage over there, the steel for the balcony. All of that's going to be constructed, and you can see we've still got a lot of work to do, but you start to get an idea for the enormity of this project. I mean, it's a huge project with a lot of work being done. Right down here in that open area is where the spiral staircase will be that goes from the upper to the lower level. We were here just a minute ago on the outside looking in, but now we've come into what used to be our weight room. This is a big space, and this is going to be the new DTV studio. You can see there's a huge amount of space in here for our DTV program. They're actually going to split this room in two. One side is going to be like a newsroom, and the other side, I believe, Randy, is going to be the actual studio where you do the DTV news and things like that. So very, very cool. They're going to have top-notch equipment. I think 2 big green screens. It's going to be a first-rate facility for our DTV program. So just a lot of good space in here to be utilized for that. We're now directly below the DTV studio, the new DTV studio that they were just inside. This is actually where the old dirt room used to be and the AMR used to be. In fact, we just came down the stairs into what used to be the AMR. Now it's a series of hallways and smaller rooms, and I can't even tell you, with all honesty, what all of these little rooms or spaces are going to be, but we're going to have new bathrooms, dressing rooms, green rooms. We're going to have a set shop, which I'll show you later, but there are a lot of spaces around this auditorium for all of these different things that the kids can utilize, when they're doing plays or musicals or that kind of thing. That's going to take you back out into the auditorium. It doesn't look like we want to walk out there because they're in the process of doing the floor, but recall we were up on top in the upper lobby. This then becomes the lower lobby, which goes around the new auditorium. That'll be a concrete floor as well that will be padded and carpeted and so on. This long hallway that we're in right now goes all the way around the auditorium. So the auditorium here is on our right as we walk down this hallway. And then some of those rooms and spaces that I was talking about earlier, green rooms and dressing rooms and things like that, would be here on the left. We just passed the HVAC room, which is where a lot of the systems for air conditioning and heating this new wing of the high school are located. If you walk this way, again, we have the auditorium in here, and we'll step in there in just a minute. Over here, you can see the big door there. This is where the set shop will be. People will actually be able to come in here and build their own sets and backdrops and things like that for plays and musicals. This will be a great advantage, something we don't have now. If we continue down this way, we're going to see more spaces that will be utilized. And again, I can't even tell you. I do know what this is. This is our new choir room. And I can tell because these are what are called clouds. And I don't exactly know how they work. I'm sure our music teachers could tell you. But these clouds help with the sound in the room. And so this is going to end up turning into our new choir room. And the band room is still, we haven't been there yet, and I'm not sure how far along that is. But we'll continue down along here. Again, this is part of the hallway system that surrounds the actual auditorium and branches off into some of the new and different spaces. So now we're on the south side of the auditorium. The auditorium is over here. We've taken that hallway and gone all the way around. I stopped and showed you the new choir room with the clouds. This is our new band room. And I want you to look at the size of this room, because if you compare this to our current band room, I think it's 3 or 4 times the size of our existing band room. It's got this back curved wall, which has something to do with sound, and it kind of mimics the orchestra pit that we're going to have in the auditorium. But you can see extremely high ceilings, a lot of space. There are some storage rooms around this for equipment and uniforms and instruments and things like that. But this is going to be a huge upgrade for our music program, which we all know is a phenomenal program. So very, very excited about this particular room as well. And then over here, you can see we just recently got a little rain, but over here you get back to the lobby of the auditorium. And it's kind of cool if we can look into here, because you can see that over here, that's to the west, that's where you're going to see the lobby, the lower lobby, the upper lobby we showed you earlier. And then they've actually left a hole in the wall right here, because they need a crane in the auditorium to raise those big heavy pieces of steel to form the frame for the balcony. And so if you walk Well, let's just walk over here, and I think you can see if you just kind of look, you can see the crane that's in there, and this is actually the back of the auditorium house, and up above is the balcony, and you can see the big steel beams and things that are being installed to support the balcony seating, and the crane they use to do it. It's kind of cool to think that they've got this great big crane they drive in and out of there in order to complete this work. So, all right, let's go look at the auditorium. Now, we have saved the best for last, so we're now going to take you into the auditorium. So if we come through this door, we are actually now on the stage in the new auditorium. And you can see the stage is very large. The ceilings are incredibly high, and this will be the house. If you look out into this area, the expanse of this new auditorium is really quite amazing. When you think about the auditorium we currently have, it's only about half this size. I shouldn't say half this size, about half this volume. There's just so much more space here, vertical space. And you can see where they're installing all of the steel. You can see the two balconies, the two sides of the balconies and the top balcony there are starting to take shape. So you're going to have a lower lobby with entry points into the lower seating, and you're going to have an upper lobby that brings you into the balcony area. But we're going to have large monitors like you see at some of the concerts nowadays on either side of the stage, projecting outward. You can see the stage, you can see the orchestra pit here with the curved front of the stage. The orchestra pit will sit down here. It's a very, very impressive space once you get inside it. It's almost hard to grasp the sheer volume, but this is 60 foot from top to bottom. So it's going to be very, very cool. And that concludes our tour.